Looking back, Cole had fashioned a pair of useful weapons, and his nimble movements confused the behemoth. Clutching his severed arm, the giant's face showed disbelief, never imagining death could be so close. Hearing of the giant's defeat, Behan could no longer sit still and decided to take his art to the extreme. Cole would never guess that Behan turned his own wife and child into ice sculptures. Overwhelmed by fresh grudges and past hatreds, how could he match Behan? Though the armor was resistant to strikes, it was less effective against the cold than a down jacket. In desperation, he drew his ancestor Hanzo's dagger in retaliation. It seemed ineffective at first, but hidden mechanisms within activated, as blood turned the dagger into a blaze of flames, signaling Hanzo's resurrection from hell. Capitalizing on the intense fight, Cole rushed to rescue his family. The quickest tactic was a collaborative 2 versus 1 assault, which was executed seamlessly. After Behan left, a bolt of lightning suddenly appeared, giving rise to a man called the God of Thunder. He found Hanzo's son, secretly took him away, and raised him. 400 years flashed by, unknowing how many generations had passed. Hanzo's descendant, now an adult named Cole, bore a dragon mark, signifying his role as the chosen protector of Earth. The Thunder God revealed his lineage. After Hanzo's death, he was sentenced to the deepest hell, constantly yearning for revenge. Today's Cole not only continues Hanzo's lineage but also carries the mission to protect Earth. Unfortunately, while each guardian contains immense power within, Cole has yet to tap into his. When the otherworldly assassins learn of his identity, they send a multi-limbed giant to kill him. The fight was uneven, like a gibbon taking on an elephant. In a life and death moment, his wife decides to make a heavy sacrifice for him. The giant traps him and his child in a car, trying to destroy them together with the vehicle. Panicked, Cole's eyes glow brightly, and his bracelet metamorphoses, unlocking his unique abilities. Armored in a bell-like cloak that covers his body, his special power is incredible resilience to impact. At that moment, Cole feels a surge of power within him. The blow was certainly forceful. The plot succeeded. First, fireman Liu Kang took the initiative, having long held a grudge against the imposter Iron Blood Warrior. Despite clashing for 300 rounds, neither emerged victorious, while their comrade Lao Hei suffered at the hands of the mighty Hammer Brothers, enduring relentless blows from hammers big and small, leaving him utterly dejected. Just as Sonya attempted a rescue, she was flung over 80 meters by the treacherous bearded man, who then severed the statue's arm with his laser vision, attempting to bury Sonya alive with falling boulders. Although Lao Hei was also in the deep pit, he was lucky to be in a corner and narrowly escaped disaster. Upon standing, he wanted to help Sonya out of her plight, but his rudimentary mechanical arm simply couldn't bear the weight of the boulders. Seeking help, he found none forthcoming. After a moment's thought, the emotions and unwavering beliefs within him affirmed that surrender was not an option. Then, a miracle occurred. His frail arm reassembled rapidly. After easily moving the boulders, Sonya was astounded. The man before her was as strong as a mechanical gorilla, when suddenly, lightning marked a new movement. Thor, the deity of thunder, entered with authority, yet he was forbidden from direct combat due to divine law. Despite this, eager to protect Earth's defenders, he transported them to the Void, a sanctuary out of reach from Shang Tsung's assassin group. Even with the risk of decapitation, he was eager to uncover who was behind Sonya's deadliest technique. As the woman's body was hollowed, the villainous assassin was taken down. The strongest of the quartet, Behan, only appeared at this juncture. Cole was curious about his schemes, yet upon pursuing, he found his own wife and child transformed into frozen sculptures. This man wielded formidable control over ice, able to grasp cold air and swiftly inject it into his opponents, instantly rendering their weapons useless. He could also freeze their blood into ice following an injury. Achieving a perfect counterkill, extreme weather would manifest within a 10-kilometer radius whenever he pleased, with ice cream served in extra-large scoops at no additional cost. His obsession lay in turning others' wives and children into ice sculptures, then calmly waiting for their loved ones to seek revenge. Such acts were not only brutally harmful, but also insultingly provocative. The Avenger, knowing his family had been turned into ice statues and couldn't be restored, already had a heart grown cold, losing 2/3 of his combat strength, and ultimately could not escape the fate that awaited him. The slain man was called Bozoja Hanzo, one of Earth's guardians. The man known as Avoiding Cold was an assassin from another world, tasked with eliminating all guardians of Earth. Sadly, human plans fall short of heavenly ones, as the woman had managed to hide her young son before being turned into an ice sculpture. With flair, because Thor can teleport anyone anywhere, their strategy was to defeat them, one by one. Did Big Black still choose his hammer? Confident with his super mechanical arm, and knowing the enemy's fondness for hammers, he let them taste the newly opened, bare-handed hammer. 50% off small hammers, free whack, critical hits forever, and undying hammering, just like old Black. Flamethrower boy Liu Kang also picked his old nemesis, the knockoff Iron Blood Warrior. This time, without hesitation, he spun-kicked the opponent into a tar pit, deeply affected by the death of Hollow Old, and in his rage, he finally unleashed a blaze. Having eliminated 2 assassins, the traitorous big-bearded man was still alive. However, Sonya had already set a trap for him. Knowing he had laser eyes, she chose close combat in a tight space, and even tossed a bottle of alcohol over his head when he was caught off guard. The big-bearded man nearly burnt out his CPU as he attempted to unleash his power, but his bear hug sure was formidable, quickly getting Sonya in a rear-naked choke. As regular moviegoers know, villains always have one common flaw when they have the upper hand. That is, they're overly talkative. Following the demise of the man with the large beard, the dragon insignia swiftly moved to Sonya, indicating her sudden gain of superpowers. Just then, her ally Cole narrowly avoided defeat by an adversary. The conspiracy succeeded. First, fireman Liu Kang made his move, having long found the imposter Iron Blood Warrior disagreeable. Despite clashing for 300 rounds, no victor was decided. Meanwhile, his teammate Lao Hei suffered at the hands of the mighty hammerers, with big hammers weighing 80 and small ones 40, leaving Lao Hei utterly dejected. Just as Sonya attempted a rescue, she was hurled over 80 meters by the traitorous bearded man. He then severed the statue's arm with his laser eyes, intending to bury Sonya alive with the falling boulder. Luckily, Lao Hei, also in the pit, narrowly escaped in a corner. After getting up, he tried to help Sonya out of her predicament, but his rudimentary mechanical arm couldn't bear the weight of the boulder. Seeking help but to no avail, a brief moment of thought followed by a surge of emotion and relentless belief told him not to give up. Then a miracle happened. His twig-like arm started to rapidly reconfigure. Effortlessly moving the boulder, he was met with Sonya's amazement, as he now appeared as strong as a mechanical gorilla. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck. Thor made a powerful entrance, but as a god, he could not directly engage in the fight. That was the rule. However, he couldn't stand to see the Earth's guardians fail, so he used lightning to teleport everyone into the void. This was a place where even the assassins led by Shang Tsung could not find. Here, the woman, after waiting so long, was at last allowed by her man to go out on a hunt today. She targeted a man with a hat, seeming incredibly robust. At first, she remained hidden, watching in secret. With eagerness, she inspected as the hatted man, sensing but not spotting her, stayed composed, awaiting the revelation. Unseen by him, the woman had stealthily approached from behind, and with a quick charge, she advanced towards him. The instant they confronted each other, the hat-wearing man adeptly shifted to a superior stance. I say, my good man, there's no need to be so hasty to draw blood. Seeing his beloved killed, the man was bound to make the killer taste the bitterness of loss. It turned out to be a team battle between an extra-dimensional space and Earth, with control over Earth at stake if the group of assassins prevailed. But Earth's defenders could not possibly let this band gain dominance. He has completely lost his will to fight. The victorious man is named Bi-Han, also known as Absolute Agility. If anyone dares to disrespect him, he'll make it snow romantically around them, and then suddenly turn it into fierce hailstones. He's an assassin from another dimension, and the man who never washes his face before going out is his boss, named Shang Tsung. His name reveals a visage of defeat and old age. But don't underestimate these people. They have a clear goal to entirely conquer the Earth and enslave humanity. However, ancient gods long ago decreed that assassins from other dimensions and Earth's guardians must duel. If they win 10 matches in a row, they obtain control over Earth. They've already won 9 matches, and to ensure their objectives without fail, they plan to eliminate all of Earth's guardians in advance. This way, they would naturally win the last match without a fight. The reason Earth's defenders have lost 9 times is often due to being underprepared. Initially, they only discovered a dragon tattoo on themselves, not knowing its purpose. Thus, before becoming guardians, they were either being hunted or on the way to be hunted. A man named Lao Hei is among them. Suddenly, a man and a woman enter a small dark room. The woman's name is Sonya, a special forces soldier just like the eliminated Lao Hei. And this man named Cole is not very professional at his job. They have been studying the dragon tattoo for 7 years. As the two were chatting excitedly, a bearded man suddenly interrupted them. It turned out there was a third person here, also with a dragon tattoo. But like me, he was neither greedy for money, nor lustful for beauty, constantly spouting pleasant words, so Sonya tied him up. Suddenly, the lights in the room went out, a large hole appeared in the ceiling, and a mysterious force yanked Sonya up a willow tree. Even the unprepared bearded man got copied. While offering a complimentary tickling service, Sonya got up immediately and started shooting, perceiving what seemed like a monster, but a certain area on its back could withstand bullets. Out of options, Sonya quickly pulled out 2 black knives from her trousers. Then, the young man, I curse, as the fleeing monster silently climbed up to the beam, with abilities far more than just an everlasting stainless steel dagger in his mouth, softer than chocolate. The bearded man, noticing the drool, was thrilled, and immediately reached out to catch it, thinking the day he unshackles would be when he draws his blade to help. He had planned to engage the monster in close combat, but to no avail. Wisely, he ignited a flare beside him. No matter what, stab it into the monster first. At that moment, the monster seemed to carry up on your back, with real-time tracking wherever you go, and shutting it off is useless. The monster gave up hiding and immediately revealed its true form. Who else? It's Godzilla's African cousin, Komodo Sessa, but he's far more agile than Godzilla, showing off with a swiftness, his tongue over 3 meters long, easily wrapping around the bearded man's waist. The once arrogant challenger is now under control, not daring to let out even a whimper in the face of death. In this critical moment, Sonya catches the dagger passed by Cole, piercing the monster's prostate, and the bearded man takes this chance to deliver a fatal blow. After this battle, they realized that carrying the dragon's mark meant constant danger wherever they went. It was better to seek out the legendary temple, where a man called the Thunder God would train them to become stronger. After walking for 3 days and nights without a glimpse of the temple, suddenly a spirited young man appears before them, and the bearded man wants to pose a challenge. 52. The enraged man named Liu Kang is also one of Earth's defenders. Anticipating their arrival, he waited there. Incredibly, the trio was brought to the temple, but Lord Thunder God, with a sweep of his bladder, declared them to be hopeless cases. Despite suffering severe injuries, Bi-Han still believes he can turn the tables. Unbeknownst to him, Hanzo, after 4 centuries of hellfire refinement, has perfected his mastery of the flames. The clash between ice and fire ended, with the many overpowering the few. Later, Raiden and others arrived, and the leader of the assassins, Shang Tsung, officially declared that next time, he would bring an entire army to attack Earth. Raiden sent him back to his world in response. The man with too much to say aimed a shotgun at his head, but the bullet was instantly frozen, moving slower than a tadpole swims, and the man in front of him didn't even bat an eyelash. Old Black wanted to counterattack, being a special forces soldier with 6 missions under his belt, but little did he know, his opponent was far from ordinary. A left jab looking for work, followed by an invincible frosty palm strike, instantly gave him a frozen shoulder. Only then did he realize he was outmatched, but it was too late to escape as he was firmly in the opponent's grasp. Immediately afterward, a Siberian cold front began to spread from his fingernails to his head at a speed of 80 miles per second. Black was aware that Shihan had permeated his very core. Even the presence of Hua Tuo wouldn't suffice. Black was utterly dumbfounded. He was entirely at a loss.